It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
It is showtime. How do I forget? How's it 2 days in a row? I put my blazer on at the last minute. Hey everybody, how we doing? It is showtime. I am here. It is the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday. Now, 7:30 p.m. It's about 7:30 right now. 6:30 Central Time. Hello, Chicago. Chi-Town, stand up. I see you, everybody, Central Time. From Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Memphis, Tennessee, down in New Orleans, Louisiana, there, Jackson, Mississippi, stand up, Little Rock, Arkansas, Houston and Dallas, live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. All right, within 2 weeks, new start time, it'll be 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. out on the West Coast. But still for now, 7:30 is still Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 on the West Coast is our current and still our standing start time. All right, I need everybody to do me a favor right now from the very top of the show, from the, as they say, from the top, click on that thumbs up for me. Like, share. Share means copy and paste the link. You can copy and paste the link in an email, in a text message. You can copy and paste the link on your forehead, on your butt cheeks, on your navel, on your neck. I don't care where you copy and paste it. Copy and paste it everywhere. Like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Do that for me right now. We're at about 1.4K new subscribers. So my goal is to get. I want to be at 500,000, 500,000 by the end of the year. All right, I think big. Really, I'm going for 1 million. But so I'm shooting for 1 million new subscribers. So if I land at 500,000, but you guys can help me with that. All right, so coming up, I got a guest here, South Carolina. Well, today is election day somewhere in America, primarily Arizona. Now, we are 105 days away from the midterm elections. That means we are less than 100 days away from early voting. So remember, election day is late voting. Election day is CP time, okay? That's like late. You know, you go to class, they say, okay, class starts at 8:59. Some people, like coaches, if practice started at 9, you had to be in there at 8:55. If you got there at 9, you were late. So election day, November 3rd, we are not voting on election day. The goal is everybody, we want to have all our votes already locked in. Now, I understand some people for job reasons or whatever, you will only be able to vote for election day, but we can do this, everybody. We don't have to wait until November 3rd, and we're not going to do that. Trust me, because these folks are playing all kind of games, but you know what? The harder they try to stop us from voting, the more they're going to make people say, okay, you know what? Guess what? I wasn't going to vote because, you know, I think it's the two wings of the same bird and all that old crazy nonsense, that bullshit. But since you just gonna mess with, you gonna try to stop me from voting or my family from voting. Oh, no, I'm gonna show up now. I wasn't gonna show up, but I was gonna show up. But I'm just speaking. We had that happen here in South Carolina. There were probably people who would have continued to sit on the couch. The largest voting group in America is the couch, the non-voter. But a lot of non-voters showed up. And now we got to get even more non-voters along with voters to show up in November. And here in South Carolina, early voting starts 2 weeks before Election Day. So that's 2 weeks before November 3rd. So that's going to be like mid-October, somewhere around the 20-something. So, but anyway, early voting will start in less than 100 days. Once again, Election Days is 105 days from today. All right. And so my guest, she'll be on shortly. She is running to be the South Carolina Comptroller General. Her name is Tiffany Boozer. You'll get a chance to meet her, and she'll just kind of give you like her origin story, as I like to call it, her origin story, her background, you know, just how it all got started, where she grew up as a little girl, what she wanted to be, and then what led her to running to be the South Carolina Comptroller General, her why, and what exactly does the Comptroller General do? Because I can hear, what is that? What does she do? Well, you're going to find out. All right. Cancer's got one more day. Cancer's a sign of cancer goes until July 22nd. Today is July 21st. I wanted to be Wednesday. It's only Tuesday, but I wanted to be Wednesday. So today, July 21st, if you are celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. You are celebrating a birthday with my girl, Miss Kym Whitley. Sugar, from next Friday. And she's been in another movie. She's just a funny sister. I saw her on with my man Dion Cole talking about her and Gerald Levert dated, and then some other R&B stars she kicked it with. I love Kym. So Kym Whitley, 65 today. Look good. Black don't crack. Go ahead, Kym. I see you out there. So to Kym Whitley and everybody else, all the cancers celebrating a birthday today on July 21st. Happy birthday. All right, like I just said a few minutes ago, it's 105 days away from the midterm elections. Early voting starts in less than 100 days, okay? Today you have primaries in Arizona. Also, today, 2 years ago, wow, time flies. 2 years ago today, then President Joe Biden announced that he was ending his campaign to run for re-election of president. Kamala Harris stepped up, and it was the racism, misogyny, and sexism was the driving engine. That was the jet fuel that kept Kamala Harris from winning. And she still came like within a point and a half. She still got 75 million votes. As a matter of fact, she got more votes than any other presidential candidate except for Joe Biden, who got the most presidential votes. He got like 81 million. And Owen Chitler, who got somewhere around 77 million. So Kamala Harris got more than Barack Obama got twice. He ran twice and didn't get 75 million. But it wasn't enough because the racism and the misogyny and the sexism and the homophobia and the bigotry and hatred, that was the jet fuel. Well, she married to a white dude. She married to a Jewish dude, and she was locking black men up, which was bullshit. She wasn't. As a matter of fact, she had a program that helped black men when they got out of prison. So we're not going to relitigate that, because now even a lot of you all that was, well, you know, she locking up black men and she married to a white dude. How did that work out for you? And how did it work out for everybody else? Because what I need everybody to understand, voting is not just for you. You're voting for your family, for your friends. You're voting for people in the community who need you. They need you to show up for not just yourself. They need you to show up for them. We need to show up for each other. We are truly our brothers and sisters' keeper. Period. Full stop. All right? Now, we ain't Nino Brown, and this isn't New Jack City. But in real life, we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. And if we understood that, you know, because, well, you know, and the Democrats and blah, blah, blah. Listen, politicians and these political parties, they are delivery systems. And their job is to deliver the resources and money, to make sure that there are social programs for the elderly, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, health care, programs for the disabled, things like early childhood development, things like daycare. You got kids in daycare. You know how much, listen, I don't have to tell you. If you got 2 kids in daycare, that's like a mortgage for a luxury house. Their job is to make your lives better. They're not celebrities, they're not entertainers. I know some think they are, but their job, politicians are public servants. That is their job description. And it is their job to use the power that we give them to protect and make sure that they protect our rights and that we have the resources, natural resources, be it resources like electricity, gas, and water, healthcare, healthy air, healthy food. You've got this contamination, this, what is it, cyclospora virus. It's called like explosive diarrhea in the lettuce. That's why you have a Food and Drug Administration to make sure that people are not selling you vegetables that's contaminated that can kill you or your family. It's their job to make sure to protect, to protect and provide, to protect your rights as a human being, not just an American, but a human being, to make sure that you have equal rights and resources to make your life better. It's a real simple proposition. It's not that hard. It's not at all. That's what you are voting for. And if you don't like the politicians that's in office, you can vote their asses out. United States House of Representatives, they have to run for re-election every 2 years. U.S. senators run every 6 years. Your governors, most offices, they're 4-year terms. So if you don't like politicians, you're like, well, they're two birds of the same wing, but you sat your ass on the couch, like, well, then stop talking. Because when you don't vote, you give people power. You give away your power to people who want your destruction, that want your death and destruction, especially as Black Americans. They want the destruction for you and your family. If they could eliminate your ass, our asses, they would. And if they could re-enslave us, and they're trying everything, like trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment, birthright citizens, that was created out of slavery. Basically, that amendment was created to say that enslaved Africans who were brought here, their children, born, if you are born in America, full stop, you are an American citizen. But no, they don't like that. And these folks are serious. These folks are serious. But now people are realizing this whole con game, this whole con of race, or social scientists call it a social construct. It's a social con that was created to divide and conquer the masses. Wealthy Europeans never gave a shit about poor Europeans. They called them peasants, but they created this race. Let's call these poor Europeans, say you're white and you're better than those dark folks on that continent with all the resources, with the gold and diamonds and precious metals and minerals, and they can grow all type of food and crops. And you're living in these cold European climates where they can't grow shit and don't have any resources. Nothing like the continent of Africa. I talked about that countless number of times on this show. Bigotry, fear, hatred, racism, misogyny, sexism has been big business for centuries. It's a small handful of people that continue to benefit, and the division, the racism, the hatred in all of its forms, the bigotry, the misogyny, the sexism, the homophobia, the overall fear and division has been big, and it is still big business for a very small handful of wealthy people. Now we call them billionaires. Some dude trying to be a trillionaire, Elon Musk with his racist ass. And it was created, the whole con of race was created so for a small handful of people to maintain and control the social, economic, and political power. All right, I just want to shout out James Talirico. He is running to be one of the U.S. senators out of Texas. There's been a lot of talk in that Democratic primary in Texas. He ran against the sister Jasmine Crockett, she's still in the House of Representatives. She lost that primary to James Talirico. There's been a lot of talk. A lot of Jasmine Crockett's supporters pretty pissed off. Some of James Talirico's supporters running their mouth a little too much. So to James Talirico's credit, there was a town hall in Houston, Texas, and basically he said, and I'm paraphrasing these words. He said, if you claim to support me, keep Jasmine Crockett's name out of your mouth. She's done everything. She was gracious. He said she called him literally the next morning after he won and she lost. He said he didn't even know if he could have did that himself. She's done everything. She supported him and other candidates. Her job is not to get him elected. It is his job to win over the trust of Black Texans. It is his job, and he acknowledged that. So we'll see how he moves. You can look at his policies. We got a big election here. Dr. Annie Andrews running to be the U.S. Senator to replace Lindsey Graham, who died a couple of weeks ago. And now Lindsey Graham's sister says she wants that seat permanently. She was installed as the interim senator, but now she has announced publicly that she wants to keep that seat, that she plans to run for that Senate seat. And speaking of running, we have an incredible slate of candidates. As a matter of fact, Dr. Jermaine Johnson is running to be the first African-American governor of South Carolina. And it's an incredible slate of candidates. As a matter of fact, that is my transition to bring on my guest today, who is running to be the South Carolina Comptroller General. You're probably wondering, okay, what exactly is a Comptroller General, and what does she do when she wins? Well, she's on camera now, and she's going to explain to you exactly what she does. Welcome, Tiffany Boozer, to the show. Hello, Tiffany. Welcome.
Hello, Geno. How are you?
I am doing great. So I want to thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being patient for me to rant my monologue like I do every day. So listen, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers? By the way, everybody that's watching, the show is interactive. So if you got a question, you can jump in that chat room where it says live chat. But if you don't mind, Tiffany, give us your origin story.
Ooh, my origin story. I am from it's not a small town, the great city of Clinton, South Carolina.
Okay.
My family we moved when I was in high school to Columbia, South Carolina. And I graduated from Lower Richland High School right here in Columbia. So that's the origin story. I am the youngest of 4. I grew up primarily with my 2 older brothers. So I am nobody's softie at all.
So you got older brothers?
Yes.
So they toughened you up a little bit there, huh?
Yes, I think it took them many, many, many years to realize I'm actually a girl.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, so speaking of a little girl, what were your goals and dreams when you were a little girl? Did you see yourself running for elected office, or how did that transition come about?
No, this was nowhere. If I had wrote up the perfect life for myself, this would not have been on the list at all. Me running and entering this race came from a random conversation at work 3 days before the close of the filing period. So
Really?
this was not this amazing plan and we're gonna run for office. No, this not at all. Not
Really?
at all. Not at all.
So what do you do by trade?
So I'm an auditor by trade. I'm a CPA. So just I might as well jump right into it, right?
Yeah.
I'm an auditor. So I'm the internal auditor in the Comptroller General's office now. So that's my everyday job that I do. And like I was saying, it was a random conversation about audacity in our office as we were keeping an eye on different folks entering different races. And we were like, ooh, this person has a lot of audacity. This one got a lot of audacity.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of audacity going around.
We don't even have to name any names. Folks who watch my show every day, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about, Orange Hitler. So yeah, there's a lot of audacity. So why not?
A lot of audacity.
And
exactly.
And I say this, I tell people, always, when people say, because people will always project their limitations and fears, and they will try to project, how they see you, and never allow somebody else's perception of you be your reality. And I always say, I do motivational speaking, and I tell young people or anyone, Why not? Always say to yourself, why not? Why not me? Why not? When people
Literally.
say, why? What makes you think, well, why not?
Why not?
Why not me?
Why not? So one of my coworkers randomly said, "Well, why don't you use your audacity and run for Comptroller General?" And I was like, "Oh, no, couldn't be me, couldn't be me." And so when he said it, though, you know how sometimes when certain words are spoken to you or over you, it just pierces you, and you just know, like, "Oh gosh, no, Lord, please get somebody else to do it." That's kind of what happened, and he said it, and it pierced through my soul, and I sat on it for like 24 hours. I didn't have long, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't do this. I don't want the exposure. I live a pretty comfortable, peaceful life. And so, long story short, prayed about it, and here we are, entered the race on the very last day.
So, I'm listening to you when you said, when I guess your colleague or coworker first mentioned it and kind of challenged you, and you said, I'm paraphrasing, you said, "Oh Lord, I don't know if I want to do this." You do realize now that that coworker, that person that challenged you, that was not him or her speaking, that the Lord was speaking to you through them.
Correct, correct. Which is why when he said it, I couldn't deny the words. I wanted to, but I couldn't deny it. So I entered the race on the last day. I kind of, talked with my daughter about it. Like, hey, my daughter, I have a daughter who's in college. And so I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. What are your thoughts? And she's like, well, just do it. I mean, what do you got to lose? And so,
Come on, that's what. Shout your daughter out. That's what. Why not? Why not? Why not you, Mama? Why? Come on, let's go.
literally. And so that was pretty much, that's how it all started. And I jumped in, and immediately when I entered, I was immediately on the road, like constantly on the road, and I still am on the road,
I
like
love that. Well,
pretty
shout out to
regular.
your daughter. What's her name? Just give her a shout out.
Oh, shout out Marissa. Hey,
Hey,
Marissa.
Marissa. There you go. Marissa, that's right. Talk to you. I said, Mommy, why not you? These
Yeah.
clowns, why not you? You can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of things that you want to do, I'm sure you have a list of things. Do you have like the top 3 things that you plan to do? Or if there's like one thing, it could be multiple things. Let's say like on day one, your first day, your first week in office. What are those main goals, those top priorities that you want to achieve in that office?
So, because I have the benefit of already working in the office, 2 things that are pretty high on the priority list for me. Number one, we have already the current comptroller. We've already purchased uh, system modernization. I just want us to move as far away from paper processes as possible to make sure that we have good, clean numbers. So system modernization, and that not only means the actual system that we're preparing the data in, but making sure the data itself is clean, because that's kind of the origin of the error we had that occurred in our office, was just not necessarily having clean processes with clean data. And we had a lot of manual processes. So I want to system modernization is the number one priority. That has to be the number one priority for me. And my second priority is going to be, I don't feel like you have to be an accountant to understand the financial state of South Carolina. Yes, we do have a transparency portal that was created under the current comptroller. However, I want to make that data a little bit more easier to understand for a non-accountant, and even potentially putting out a quarterly report of just kind of like the people's report, so they can kind of see what's happening with the money you're paying into it. So the state owe you services because they're taking money from you. So I just want to make sure that you don't need to be an accountant. And then South Carolina is very like decentralized, whereas okay, this agency is responsible for this number, this agency is responsible for that. So if you don't know how to navigate that, you don't know all of these, you don't know all of the different numbers you need to pull to understand something. So I want to make that a little bit more centralized and make sure folks can understand what is going on without having to be an accountant.
So let's break it down even further, Tiffany, if you don't mind. We're
Mhm.
taking a trip. You and I, we're going to every hair salon. Back in the day, my grandma called it the beauty salon and the barber shops.
Mhm.
And folks say, okay, Miss Tiffany Boozer, what exactly is a comptroller general? What do you do like on a day-to-day basis, and how does that affect my everyday life?
That's a good question. So the comptroller is a very fancy word for the state's accountant. It's the accountant. There's no multi-billion-dollar company that doesn't have an accountant on staff.
It's true.
Yet here in South Carolina, I'm the only accountant on the I'm the only accountant, I'm the only CPA that's running for office. Um, so it's basically a fancy word for a state accountant. Now, our office specifically, what we do, if you work for the state of South Carolina, we process the payroll for South Carolina. So all of those paychecks, they come directly out of our office. We pay all the bills on behalf of South Carolina. So anything that we accumulate, any kind of debt, anything, we pay all the bills, and we produce the financial statements. That's the part that has the ability to affect everybody in South Carolina, right? The other things, those are just if you're an employee or if you're a vendor, it could, we process payments, things like that. But when it comes to the financial statements tell the financial health of an organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so just like in your personal life, when you're trying to get loans, they're gonna pull your credit, right?
True.
If you got good credit, you get low interest rates. If you got bad credit, you're gonna get high interest rate. Okay, the same thing applies. There are credit rating agencies that give us a credit rating based on our financial health. And so we have to pass our audits. We have to have clean audits. And to have a clean audit, you got to have clean numbers, right? And so if we do not pass our audits, it will cause our interest rates to go up. And if our interest rates go up when we're trying to get loans and things of that nature, and we're talking about loans by the billions, not necessarily, we're not talking a little $100,000 here or there. No. We're talking B by the billion. So we want to make sure we get low interest rates so that we're not paying some absurd amount of interest. And if the interest rates go up, the people of South Carolina is going to be paying for that. So
Tiffany, can I pause you? Because
mm-hmm.
I'm learning myself. So when I hear you talk about the state, actually they get loans. So who would the state of South Carolina get a loan from, and why do states? What do they need loans for?
So a lot of times, a lot of what we do, we would get loans from the typical your banks or whatever, but we also issue bonds. Okay, and bonds, again, to be able to issue bonds, you have to have good credit ratings.
And a bond is what, for those who may not understand?
A bond is kind of like it's kind of like prepaid money, if you will, kind of like prepaid
like the little
money.
Prepaid cards and people.
Kind of, it's kind of like folks, interested parties put money in, right? And you say, hey, I'm going to guarantee you a certain amount of interest back. Bonds are very secure.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you this money and I expect to get my interest, and they're safe. They're not like the stock market where it's much more volatile. No, you are pretty much locked in. Hey, if I give you this money, I'm expecting this interest rate back. So but to issue bonds, you have to have a good credit rating. You can't issue bonds if you don't have a good credit rating.
Okay.
So again, if bonds is basically the cheapest way to kind of like debt. So it's the cheapest way to get it done versus going to a bank to get a loan, if you will. So that's important. So again,
when you issue a bond, I'm sorry, because I'm learning myself, so I know my viewers are too. So you issue are the financial institutions that specifically deal with bonds for cities or states? Like for a bond, who do you get that money from for the bonds?
Okay, so bonds kind of like they have brokers. Like a regular person could be involved in a bond purchase. So they have, but it's like a broker deal.
Gotcha.
And a regular person can involve themselves in bond. Like you don't have to be some fancy schmancy to be able to get
people do invest in bonds.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stocks and bonds, So yeah, that's how we do that. But it's important to keep those interest rates low so that if the interest rates are low, then, you don't have to worry about that, putting that taxing power on the people to pay for that interest versus if we don't pass our audit, then it's like a ripple effect. So that's what's important. And because my background is I'm an auditor. I've been an auditor for over a decade. I've worked in public accounting and in government. I started in government, went to public. You can't stay in public too long because you work a lot of hours and they'll work you to the bone. But then I came back to government because when I started out in government before, I felt like government is the place that if you want to make a difference, you can make a difference in government, because government tends to be further behind than private companies. So yeah. So that's kind of a Comptroller General 101 on like what we do. And so it's a very important job. Again, if you're concerned about the issue, I tell folks all the time, if you're concerned about the issues of South Carolina or any issue, none of your issues matter if you don't have any money. There's no fixing if we don't have the money. It doesn't matter whether you're red or blue. If we don't have money, your issue does not matter.
So the comptroller, basically, if, like you said, this state wants to borrow money for maybe to build affordable housing, I'm just, you can help me out with that, but I'm just throwing some ideas out because there's something that's very important now. We're living in a time where housing is out of, the cost is out of control, and it's just really hard for just your average everyday working people, and more people are asking for their public servants, their politicians say, hey, listen, you should have some kind of program for affordable housing. Maybe have a private-public partnership where you got governor and maybe some private builders to get together to build affordable housing for its citizens. Is that where maybe some of that money that you talked about states would come in, and it's like buying a home. You want to have, like you said, you want to have a good credit rating so that you get a low interest rate, so that monthly note, that mortgage is not sky high. I guess, is that the same theory when it comes to a state? Okay, all right, good deal. I'm proud of myself. I am not. Yeah. I am not a finance major. I'm an entertainer. All right, well, good deal. Well, listen.
The thing is,
no, go ahead.
Folks get a little, when you start talking numbers or you say, hey, I'm an accountant, and folks get a little, oh, no, I don't really do. But the reality is, when it comes to, everybody can understand money and money concepts, because that's something we engage in every day. So it's really not as complicated as it may seem at face value. You just have to make it simple and make it plain for folks, which is, like I said before, with that's one of the things I want to do, is make this convoluted idea more simple.
I think that's wonderful, and you did a great job. You could be a professor because you did a great job breaking it down. And I always try to get my guests to always just make it real simple so people can understand, and especially people who may not get into politics or think that politics, it doesn't matter who's in office. Folks, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. It's not going to affect my life. That's why when I bring people on like you, I want you to explain to them, oh, it does make a difference who is sitting in these seats of power, and explain to people why it makes a difference and how it can affect your everyday life.
I also want to encourage people to step into their audacity, because, and I've been saying it over and over and over, and I'm nobody's gatekeeper. The qualifications to be the state's accountant, you would think that you would need to be an accountant to run for this role, don't you think?
Yeah, that would make sense. Like if you were looking for a doctor, you would think, well, I would hope that you at least went to med school and did your residency. I just hope that you just didn't leave UPS and FedEx and decide you wanted to be like a heart surgeon. Like, wait, do you know what you're doing?
That's ideal. But to enter the race to be the state's accountant, and almost all of the roles in South Carolina, a South Carolina resident, a registered voter, and 18.
And have enough money basically to pay for the filing fee. Wow.
Get your friends to help you pay for it. Everybody needs to step into audacity for this next cycle.
I agree.
Everybody, flood the gates.
I agree. Well, listen,
flood the gates.
Tiffany, you're very impressive. I am very confident, and I believe in speaking things into existence. My grandmother used to say, "Jeannie, name it and claim it, speak it into existence." So I am speaking into existence that you are going to be the next South Carolina Comptroller General. So I want to give you the last word. If there's a final message that you want to share with the voters in terms of how you in that position as the Comptroller General will make their everyday life better, and then let everybody know where they can support your campaign. Campaigns need volunteers, but they need money. So where people can support the campaign financially or volunteers, door knockers, or whatever. But first, I want to give you the last words in terms of the final message you want to share with the voters.
Sure. My final message is sometimes you don't know how bad you need an accountant until you have some type of error or something big to happen. We don't need to wait in South Carolina for something else to happen, right? I am the only accountant in the race. I'm not only am I an accountant, I have a bachelor's and master's in accounting. This is what I do. This is not something I have to put on. I'm already wearing it. And I'm a CPA. And if anybody knows anything about that test, that's difficult. That's what CPA stand for. Can't pass again. Don't want to do it.
I never heard that. That's clever. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Oh wow, can't pass again.
Wouldn't want to do it again. And again, my goal is to make these complexities simple. I have no horse in the race. I'm not a politician. I don't have an invested interest of, oh, I want power so I can do this and do that. No, this is strictly for service of the people. I entered this race for the sake of service. I really entered it for my coworkers to try to make sure that there's a little bit of contention there so that we wouldn't just have someone win who's not even qualified to lead us.
Yeah.
So I entered the race, and it took courage. And I just want to encourage you, whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is you believe you want to try, just go ahead and do it. Just Audacity 2026. That's what we're doing the rest of this year. Just fully walking in Audacity. And I would love your support. I do need donations, of course. What I'm asking, though, if you can sign up to just give, if it's $25 a month, sign up for $25 a month. Sign up for $50 a month, because guess what? I'm going to need money coming into the campaign regularly. So I would prefer you do that. And you can visit me at boozerforsc.com. And just go ahead and sign up, and you can put a little end date on there if you wanted to end in November or what have you. But sign up to give something every month, and that way that will keep my campaign afloat. And again, with me being the only accountant, this is an easy one. We can pass this one. We can do it.
Absolutely. We are going to do it. Thank you, Tiffany Boozer. You are so very impressive. You have a permanent home here on the show, so anytime that you need to come back, if there's anything that you didn't address, or if there's something that's going on in real time that needs to be addressed, you feel that it should be brought to the attention of the voters and the public and the residents of South Carolina, you have a home right here. So
awesome.
It is a pleasure. Shout out to Nicola. Thank you, Nicola, for hooking this up. We were trying to get everybody on, so I'm glad we finally got you on. But super impressive, my sister. I'm proud of you. And I learned a little something. I felt like I should have did this on Monday. On Monday, I called the show "Get Your Money Right on Monday." So it was "Get Your Money Right on Tuesday" today. So
I am going to be doing a series called "Making Sense with Tiffany." So I'm going to be going over little things so you can.
So you have a launch date, and what platform can we see that on?
Yes, I don't have an official date. It will be launched in August. It's called Making Sense with Tiffany, where all of these complexities of the financial state of South Carolina, we're going to be breaking it down so that it makes sense. CENTS.
I love that. That is so clever. Is that going to be on the campaign website? Is that going to be on one of your personal social media platforms?
It'll be on my campaign website. It'll be on my social media, on Facebook, on Instagram as well. So you can follow me on any of those platforms.
And what's the handle? What's your name on those social media platforms? They can find it how?
Oh, and on TikTok, Tiffany Boozer for CG is what the handle is.
All right. Tiffany Boozer, South Carolina Comptroller General. I can't wait. I hope we'll see you soon. Definitely, you got to come back when you launch. That episode. Is it going to be like every week, every month?
Yes, it's going to be a series.
Okay, good. All right. Well, you got to come back when you get ready to launch your first episode so we can promote that. Thank you,
Okay, cool
Tiffany.
deal.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having
Oh, no,
me.
thank you for coming on. All right.
All right, have a good one.
You too. This is very impressive. Man, she made it sound, she broke that down because I know numbers can be intimidating for folks, but it's really not. You know, once you really know what's going on, she made it really easy to understand. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Programming, no, we got a new start time coming up in about 2 weeks. A new start time will be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. on the West Coast in about 2 weeks. But tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll see you live at 7:30. Shout out to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her out on Instagram and her Lexi Jones collection, lx.ncl_, lx.ncl_. All right. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram. He's the CEO of Designer Cuts. Kel be cutting up on IG or Instagram, KELBECUTTINUP. It is so important that we support Black-owned media platforms like this, and you can support my media company, this show, and my channel multiple ways. So you can support it financially, you can become a sponsor, you can advertise. So just shoot me an email. Now here, Geno Jones Show, all one word, no the, Geno Jones Show at Gmail, all one word. Shoot me an email if you want to be a sponsor, advertise. I'll shoot you a sponsorship package in the mail, attach that link and everything. Now, you can, and if you just want to support the show individually, financially, you can do it via Zelle or Cash App. Now, if you want to Zelle your financial support to my media company, use that same email address. That's how you spell Geno, Geno, Jones, show. Not the. Geno Jones Show, all one word, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Now, Cash App is $Dad G Jones, all one word, capital D, lowercase a d, capital G, J, lowercase ONES. No amount is too small or too large. I cannot stress enough how important it is, especially in this time and this era that we are living in. We support Black-owned media, independent media, voices that not only speak truth to power, but in the words of my grandmother, Jean Jones, tell the truth, shame the devil. That's the motto of this show. We tell the truth, shame the devil. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. We'll see you live. Once again, I want to say thank you to Tiffany Boozer. She is running to be the South Carolina Comptroller General, or like she said, the accountant for the state. Very impressive. Make sure you check her out on social media at Tiffany Boozer for SC. I think that's her site. Just go back and rewind about 4 or 5 minutes back. She'll give you that information again. We'll see you live Wednesday live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. I love you, and real love, like a Mary J. Blige song. Real love, real love, real love. It's a verb. I know the dictionary says love is a noun. Well, actually, scroll down. Love is a verb. It's an action word. You show somebody you love them. And I love you, and I'll show you. We'll be back Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time. Chi-Town, Chicago, I see you. Live on the West Coast, everybody, 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. Thank you for watching, everybody. Holla!
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.